Salutations, my Fallout lovers. It is Matty here today bringing you a Fallout 4 wishlist video. Now, before anything, be sure to check out the link in the description of my previous video. It is a Fallout 4 news update. A lot of people were confused on whether or not there would be an announcement of some sort from Bethesda at 2:30 Pacific Standard Time on Monday, but turns out that is not true at all, and that video explains all of it, so you should probably check it out if you've missed it. Anyways, this series is created by your comments, so be sure to let me know in the comments down below, or send me Facebook fan page messages, or even tweet at me on what you want to see in the next installment of the Fallout franchise. If your comment is awesome and unique enough, you will be featured in the series, much like Ryan Cole here, who sent me a message on my fan page saying he wants a larger variety of enemies, especially those that would occur within the local area. I got tired in New Vegas of facing very similar enemies with a different color slapped on, hashtag Nightkin, very true. Also, more enemies pretty much to have no hope of killing. There needs to be more than just the Deathclaw. Now, the Deathclaw is obviously a legend in the Fallout series, and I totally agree that just one more enemy that would probably kick the living hell out of me 9 times out of 10. And when I see it, like, you know, when you walk up to the Deathclaw Sanctuary in Fallout 3, you're just like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go in there. I would rather just walk away. I don't care what's inside there. I'm just going to walk away. And, I definitely think there should be at least one more enemy like that. But the bigger focus of this is larger variety of enemies. Now, the enemies in Fallout do look very different, and that is not what we're talking about. We're talking about how we take them on, or at least that's what I'm going to take it as. I would love to be able to swap through a bunch of weapons to use. One game that I could actually, oddly enough, refer this to is actually Dark Souls 2, where sometimes when you use like a blunt weapon, that's more effective against certain type of enemies, such as skeletons or enemies with armor, because you bash their armor. But certain enemies that are unarmored are more weak to your sword, your slashing, and whatnot. You get what I'm saying here, and I'd love to have something incorporated like that with the melee system, but also switching between weapons like plasma and laser. Certain are better against armor, certain are better against like bugs, and etc. You get what I'm trying to say here, is that I'd love to be able to cycle through enemies, or cycle through weapons to take on my enemies in different ways. I think that'd be interesting. But also, like he said, you know, just a different colored super mutant, for example, is not enemy variety in my opinion. I feel that's a little bit lazy design, though they have their own separate lore, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, though, that I think they should go a little bit deeper than that. Anyways, the next message from my fan page came from Jacob Sloniker. He says, "Hey Matty, I think Fallout 4 needs to have ties with the previous entries in the franchise, like having cameos from old characters and references to the Lone Wanderer, Courier, the Chosen One, and the Vault Dweller. So it makes you feel like you, the player, has had a lasting impact on the Fallout universe." So I really like this idea, but there is one little niche to it. And that is that, well, you can't, assuming that this will be a next-gen only title, being Xbox One, PS4, PC, you can't really import your save data onto this. So I don't know how they could really recognize the side activities that you have done. Maybe they could just do it regardless, assuming you have done it. But I think it would be cool to definitely do or mention what you've done in the, or what these characters have done, I apologize, in the main story, like what's in the canon. Regardless of your choice, it will happen, if you get what I'm trying to say. And I think it'd be cool to hear that conversation between NPCs and whatnot. I think this would be a very interesting addition. Like you said, it would make me feel like I actually had a lasting impact after all these years. People are still talking about my heroic acts of the Project Purity or whatever. You know, I think that would be really cool. But definitely a great idea from Jacob here. Thank you so much. Moving on to a message I got in my inbox. I don't recommend you send them there, by the way, because a lot of times I don't check my inbox, because now it's very, very, very hidden in the YouTube system, and it's very easy for me to not check it for a week or so before I get back in there. So I recommend you tweet at me, Facebook message, or obviously my comment section right here. Anyways, moving on. Battlemark says, "I think that Fallout 4 should have first-person cutscenes." For example, he uses this game, but he makes a great idea of it. Call of Duty had first-person cutscenes like being tied to a chair and struggling to hold a pistol or to someone's head and deciding whether or not to kill him. I believe he's actually talking about Black Ops 2, which the story mode in that game was very good, I will admit. Anyways, or even if it were just launching a nuke, or not only would that make you feel like you were the character, but would also increase the immersive feel, having the control of your entire character from the thoughts to the actions. Also, if the rumors of a voice-acted character are true, then it will most definitely help with the cutscene ideas. I agree. This is minus what he said about the voice-acted character. I don't think Bethesda will go down that route. Anyways, I do think that first-person cutscenes are a very cool idea. Instead of much like any other Bethesda game where they kind of zoom in on the character who's talking, except for Skyrim, they kind of kept the world moving around in the background. But usually in the Fallout games, they'll talk specifically. They zoom in on the character, you know, you're just talking to them and that's it. I think it would be cool to kind of see your character walk around and stuff instead of just being locked in the conversation scenes. Something like, actually, I've been playing this recently, Mass Effect, where when you make those choices and, you know, after that choice you might walk with someone or they might do an animation. I think that would be very, very, very cool. And yeah, the idea of, for example, like you said, struggling when you're tied to a chair or something, I could totally see that happening. Like you take a nap in the middle of the wasteland, you wake up in a random hideout, and you're like struggling to get out of this chair or something. I think that would be very cool in that context. So thank you very much, Battlemark, for your wish list. Thank you guys for all your wishes. Be sure to let me know what you want to see in the next installment of the Fallout franchise in the comments down below. Obviously, there's my fan page and my tweets that you can also use. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Keep my discount codes in mind. Other than that, my Fallout lovers, stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.